Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well and enjoying my Christmas series so far. This creation, oh my gosh, I'm making 2 Christmas trays in today's video and it honestly gave me all of the nostalgic vintage feeling. Now, these are UVDTF stickers, but they do have a kind of, I guess, nostalgic vintage vibe about them. The colours are almost darker and moodier and less vibrant than the reds and the greens and the whites that you would see in today's colour schemes, right? And as soon as I saw them, I just fell instantly in love with this nostalgic idea that they just reminded me of the wrapping paper that I used to have my presents wrapped in back in the 70s and 80s, and just, yeah, they filled my heart with happiness. Now, not all of them did. I don't really like this one. It does say love Christmas. I don't like that at all. And whilst I love this one, the final one made me laugh, honestly. It would have been so gloriously great if there wasn't a typo. I mean, how hard is it really? It's the most wonderful time of the year. Now, I could get on my Cricut and make an S, but equally, these 2 little sections with the red trucks, the Christmas trees and the gorgeous Christmas houses, they're perfectly fine to use in their own way. Now, I am using these 2 molds from Molds and Shapes. Like I said, I didn't just want to make one because I fell in love with 2 of the stickers specifically. We've got the large oval tray and the medium. We've got 30 centimetre and approximately 25 centimetre trays. These are both from Molds and Shapes, and like it says on screen, I will clean my ruler one day. It remains filthy and I'm not even sorry. So yeah, we've got the largest tray here, and I feel like this would work really well with the Christmas truck. Equally, Molds and Shapes have got a whole combination of different tray molds. So I really want to pare this back and go for a really simple, classic, vintage, old school, nostalgic Christmas tray. And that's why I'm not going for the druzy edge this time. The druzy edge trays are stunning and they would work, of course, with anything. But for me, I just want a simpler design. Now, the resin I'm using in today's video is the Apex resin. It will be linked down below at the top of my description box with your discount code. And I had no idea how much both of these trays together would take, so I'm pretty confident I guesstimated approximately 700 grams. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure I went 350 part A, 350 part B, and guys, I mean, spoiler alert really, but spot on. For the first time, there's a song in there somewhere. For the first time in a long time, it was spot on what I needed, not a drop to spare. So again, trying to draw the colors out from the UVDTFs. I'm going to be using champagne and green mixed in with gold and champagne. Now, I will always say this, right? I love a UVDTF sticker. They're very new. Last year, like, everyone's using them now. They're beautiful, they're fabulous, and they can really, you can create some beautiful pieces. I have had comments about them being AI generated and they're simply just stickers, just sticking stickers in. And I will always defend a UVDTF sticker, because I'll always say that you really want to tie them into your background. Do a lot of work in your background, right? So the effort is not only going into the background to add the sticker, you're kind of justifying it. But this time, ignore all of that. Ignore it all. I am bringing it back to simple, 1 block color for the backgrounds of these trays. So everything I've always said about creating these beautiful backgrounds that tie in with the colors drawn out from the stickers, not doing it this time. I'm looking for vintage. I'm looking for those vintage colors, and this tray in particular, don't ask me why, guys. I don't know why. It screams my grandma. I can't tell you why. It just gave me all of the feelings, and for the first time ever on my channel, I actually teared up when I saw the results of these trays, because I could just see my grandma in both of the trays. Now, it has to be to do with the Christmas cards she used to send us, the nostalgic vintage Christmas cards that you would have got in the late 70s, early 80s. when I was a child, obviously prior to this as well, in the 60s and 70s, I'm only talking about from my experience. And again, it just, yeah, I don't know, it brought back so many emotions for me. And I don't usually get like that over resin. Now with the green, I used champagne mica from Arteza for the champagne. Now with the green, I'm using the liquid green pigment from Vista, but I don't want that modern bright green, right? I want to bring it back a bit and make it a little bit more murky, a little bit more like the sticker, and get some of the nostalgia in there. So I've added in some gold mica powder from Let's Resin and also some of that champagne mica powder from Arteza, right? So I've gone back in with those. You can see it in the green. It's no longer this opaque dark green that was, you know, it's got this undertone of murk and shimmer, and definitely more of a nod back to the early 80s than it would have been had I left it. Am I mumbling? Quite possibly, yes. Here we are, we've got our green, we've got our champagne. I was very tempted to go ahead and make a third tray with a vintage red, but I did decide not to because I think 3 trays for one video is excessive. This is 24 hours later. You can really see that gold and champagne mica coming through the liquid green pigment, and I was so happy at this point with the colour, because it's not, you know, a bright in your face. It's definitely pared back and a little bit more murky, but in certain lights you can definitely see that gold shimmer coming through, and I absolutely love it. It works so perfectly with this sticker. It just goes. I could not have colour matched a better green if I tried, and if I stayed with that really dark opaque green, I just think it would have been too much. Just bringing it back a bit, it really matches this sticker. Now again, this is just 2 ingredients, guys: epoxy resin and your sticker. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I will always defend a UVDTF sticker and say, like, no, you need to put more effort into the background and then it's fine. And I'm absolutely not doing that. I'm not doing it. Not in today's. I want these to be like an old gift wrap. That's all I can think of when I look at these, is like an old gift wrap. I definitely had struggles. I would almost say that these have been sitting in someone's drawer since 1975 because they felt crunchy, they felt dated, they felt out of date. Like if they had a use by date, it would have been 35 years ago. That's how these ones felt. It was quite hard ripping that protective layer off, but once it was on, it was screaming Christmas wrapping paper, screaming old vintage nostalgia. And oh my gosh, yeah, I mean, honestly, did make me a little bit emotional, but it was the cream tray that brought tears to my eyes, because it just, yeah, reminded me of my grandma. And I'm not going to get emotional now, but oh my gosh, I've never had this kind of emotional response to resin before. I've always been super giddy, like bouncing off the chairs and like, I love it, I'm so obsessed. I've never had this kind of like nostalgic feeling. Yeah, there's something about this image. Oh, they knew what they were doing when they designed it. Apart from the red Christmas truck, I would say I don't remember growing up with the red Christmas truck image. It wasn't really an image for the UK. That's definitely an American import, so I can only thank you for that. But that Santa and the house and the snow and the snowman and the gorgeous vintagely wrapped Christmas present, I love, love, love. I did have to trim this one down. It didn't quite fit, and I was more than happy about that. Sorry guys, my phone just rang. Oh my gosh, I usually have it on silent. But here I am pushing it down. Now this area here, I'm just trying to get it so that it doesn't stick to the tray, you know, but it's actually quite crunchy. So when it came to pressing this in around the edge, it just simply snapped. Now, I don't know if UVDTF stickers usually do that, because usually I use the whole sticker in its entirety. So let me know if that's totally normal. Really doesn't matter if it's not, because it still worked. I tried to peel it back because it went a bit too fast for me, but you can't. Once these suckers are down, they are down. There is no moving a UVDTF sticker, so take your time. Make sure you've got your placement spot on where you want it. Now, the same occurred to this corner here. Well, it's not a corner, but you know what I mean. It simply snapped. Like, it was so easy to rub around those edges because it became almost flaky, but you could hear the crunch, if that makes any kind of sense. Now, at this point, like I always do with my UVDTF stickers, I will always now go in with a top coat. I never ever leave them. I don't know why, because trust me, they're not coming off. So I will usually, when I use a UVDTF, say at this point, put on a thin layer and a top coat just to seal that sticker in. But guys, I don't want to do that this time, because I feel like the texture and the tactile nature of these stickers adds to that nostalgia. It adds to the vintage feel. Now you can see me here just using my needle pin weeder just to get rid of some of those air pockets. I got quite a lot of air pockets because, like I said, it got away with me and it went down too fast and I didn't have time to proper smooth it out. Just using my deburring tool on the bottom edges of these, there is a little bit of sharpness. Just make sure that that is gone. And we are done. I am not putting a top coat on these trays. These will be mince pie serving trays for Christmas Day with all of the vintage feels. And this tray made me miss my grandma. What on earth, guys? Like, it's the colours, it's all of it. Brought back so many memories. It makes me, and I think, you know what it could be, 2025 is definitely the year of going back to the 80s Christmases. You'll see it all over social media. Forget the Ralph Lauren Christmas, please. Give me a break. We're going back to the 80s, you know. We're going back to the bright colours and the coloured lights. And I think because it's all over social media, it probably is in the back of my mind that I'm missing that magic from the Christmases that we had as children. Of course, we'll never get that back as adults, but we're always looking for it, aren't we? And I think that's probably why these made me so emotional. Again, guys, I know these are simple. They are the perfect beginner project. I know that, but you know what? Sometimes you just can't beat taking it back to the simple, beautiful, a sticker and some resin. Works perfectly. Cannot wait to use these on Christmas Day for the next 50 years. I appreciate you all. I hope you feel inspired, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.